It's gross. Today we're going to draw a cherry branch drawing in the Japanese style of sumae with a black crayon. Now you don't have to use just a crayon. You could use a marker, you could use a pencil, or you could use a different colored crayon. I'm using a black to simulate ink, but it is nice to add color if you can. To start with, the important part of this drawing is to know how to hold the crayon. If you hold the crayon flat, you get a big broad mark, which is a wider mark, and that's how you make some of these main branches of the cherry tree. To make a thinner line, you hold the crayon more like a pencil, and you would draw some thin branches coming off these thicker ones. And they have these little V marks. Next, you add the cherry blossoms, and you can do that in many different ways. One, you could have one cherry blossom branch, one blossom like we saw in the movie, or you could have two. You could have three in any order like that, or you could have four. And they go on the side of the branches. So you start adding your blossoms the way you like them to be, sometimes three, sometimes two, sometimes those look like hearts, sometimes four on a more older blossom. And then sometimes on these blossoms you can put what we call stamens, and those look really nice. Little lines coming out that have dots on the end that look for bumblebees to come land on them. You could also add leaves, and you could make your leaf any way you like. Sometimes I like putting a vein on the leaf so you can tell them apart from the blossoms. You could also have a blossom hang down and with some action lines on it so it looks like it's moving in the wind. So the next thing is to color in your blossoms, and I'm going to use the black because that's what I have and I think it looks nice. But if you had a pink or an orange or a purple or a blue, you could mix all those colors up because cherry blossom branches and cherry blossoms have a lot of color in them. Next, I'd be thinking of what I could add to this picture. What other details would be in a close-up of a cherry blossom branch? One, it could be a butterfly. So you could put a butterfly in. That's always nice. And butterflies love cherry blossoms. Decorate that, and you could color that in. Another idea is you could put a little bird's nest up here. Birds always nest in cherry trees. And there's a baby bird and a parent bird. Parent bird's a little bigger. And they both have eyes that makes them look alive. And they're happy in the little nest. And you could put a sun up in the sky and maybe a few mountains, because maybe the cherry tree is in Japan. And there you go. You have now completed a sumae cherry blossom branch drawing.